Welcome to Dr. Dorian's House of Killers, where we take a look at all your favorite killers and see how they could be implemented into Dead by Daylight. Today, we are taking a look at the Apostle of the Great Dreamer. Roll the intro. So, let's just jump right into it. The Apostle of the Great Dreamer, also known as Cthulhu. We will start off, as always, with the basic stats. Speed, there are three this time: 105%, 4.2 meters per second, 110%, 4.4 meters per second, and 115%, 4.6 meters per second. His size would be huge. He would probably be the biggest killer to date by Daylight. Terror radius would be small, medium, big, depending upon the speed. Map effect, in case you're unfamiliar. I am of the opinion that map effects should always be there, that killers should, however, have different types of powers. So if a killer, for example, Freddy, would have his old power where he can't attack while in dream state and has to put somebody to asleep, the watches would still spawn. Maybe even the spawn, the timer effect might be visible, but people wouldn't actually fall asleep when it hits full. Something like that, so that they just don't know which opponent they are, what the powers the killer took along are. So in essence, you have different types of powers, but if a killer has one map effect for any type of power, that map effect is always there. So you can't, say, oh, he took that power because that map effect is there, or he didn't take it because the map effect isn't there. That's pretty much it. Map effect. Sanity pills stop insanity meter from progressing and remove insanity effects for 30 seconds. Passive power. In the Mouth of Madness. Insanity progresses slowly during the entire match. The closer the killer it is to a survivor, the greater the insanity progression for that survivor. Also, looking at the killer directly gives the highest progression in insanity. Power 1. A flight stance. Gain the ability to fly over obstacles at 115%. This includes vaults, but not walls with a ceiling, for example. The killer can also dive bomb. The impact location is chosen before initiating the dive bomb. However, there is a small amount of maneuverability, so you choose the area where you want to land, but you can still sway left, right, up, down, sort of, but the place where you impact is somewhat locked in. The scratch marks and blood can't be seen, at least at base. Maybe add-ons would change that. If he clashes down and does proximity damage because he has a proximity damage area, it's 1 damage state. If he hits somebody in the bullseye, it's a full down. After dive bombing, the killer is incapacitated for a long time, so it would take a long time to recover and the survivors can get away. So landing that thing would be crucial. Landing normally incapacitates the killer for a medium time because he can fly, and that's the drawback of flying. The fly power takes 30 seconds to charge. Walking speed at the start of the match is 105% with a small terror radius. Alternate power 1. Mind stance. Every 60 seconds, the killer can trigger his increased perception. Doing so lets the killer see a cloud of madness in which the survivor is somewhere located. So he triggers it, and across the whole map he sees different clouds, and he knows, okay, somewhere in that cloud, maybe on the edge, maybe in the middle, there is a survivor. The more insane a survivor is, the smaller the cloud. Walking speed at the start of the match is 110% movement speed with a medium terror radius. Also, what I forgot to mention, the cloud effect would be like a 5 seconds or 10 seconds, something like that. Now we get to the nitty-gritty. Insanity powers. This will be a long one. The more insane a survivor or the survivors get, the greater the killer's powers become. At tier 2, walking speed is increased to 5%, with an equivalent of the terror radius that he would normally have. So if he has a walking speed of 105%, he's now 110, and has a medium terror radius, if he was 110%, he's now 115 with a big terror radius. This starts triggering when the last survivor hits tier 2. And same survivors fall in and out of the realm of madness. I will now read the tier list of insanity And I will also say things like power 1, power 2, power 3. And just know that power 1 triggers, and then power 2, when it triggers in addition, not substituting to power 1. So you have power 1 and 2 active. And when power 3 activates, it's power 1, 2, and 3. And if you have the last stage, it's power 1, 2, and 3, and the last stage that are active. So, tier 1. Every 100 seconds for 5 seconds, power 1. Tier 2, every 90 seconds for 5 seconds. Tier 3, every 80 seconds for 5 seconds. Tier 4, every 70 seconds for 10 seconds, power 2. Tier 5, every 60 seconds for 10 seconds. Tier 6, every 50 seconds for 10 seconds. Tier 7, every 40 seconds for 15 seconds, power 3. Tier 8, every 30 seconds for 15 seconds. Tier 9, every 20 seconds for 15 seconds. Tier 10, every 10 seconds for 20 seconds. Tier 11 is permanent insanity, or you're permanently in the realm of madness, plus insanity powers increase 2 times the original value, more or less. Oh, exactly. Tier 12 is permanent, plus passive insanity power increases more, which means 3 times the original value. And tier 13 is permanent plus final insanity triggers. So, insanity power 1 is sounds of horror. So different kind of horror sounds just randomly appear when you're in the realm of madness. Power 2 is visions of your horror appear that have probably nothing to do. It's more or less a distraction. It might actually be something that blocks vision for a short amount, but would more just be a distraction. But power 2, visions of horror appear and haunt the survivor. Insanity power 3, tentacles. 10 tentacle clusters spawn on the map, attacking survivors in range and doing damage. And of course, if you're in tier 11, which is 2 times the original, it would be 20. And if you're tier 12, it would be 30 tentacle clusters. Insanity power, passive insanity alternate power 3. Creeping horrors. 2 creeping horrors spawn, hunting down survivors. Of course, in tier 11, it would be 4, and in tier 12, it would be 6. And then in passive insanity power, final insanity. Cthulhu starts chasing the survivor that reaches final insanity with a movement speed of 100% and gains 1% movement speed every 5 seconds. If he gets that survivor is dead. He can vault windows and he vaults pallets with the normal vault speed of a killer, so no buffs are applied to it. That's sort of the only way you can get distance. Perks. Phantom item. If the killer has a unique item like bear traps, jigsaw boxes, alarm clocks, fountains, and so on, every 60, 45, or 30 seconds, 1, 2, or 3 phantom versions of that item spawn. Old phantom items despawn when a new one spawns. Interacting with a phantom item despawns it right away. If the killer has no unique items, the power is used on totems instead. Aura reading perks and items don't show the aura of phantom items or totems. So Detective's Hunch, for example, would not show a phantom totem, so you would know that's a phantom totem. Unsteady hand. Fear makes a survivor quiver, makes the survivor's hand quiver. Skill checks have a 30, 40, or 50% chance to have 2 skill check zones instead of 1. Last perk, Scared Beyond Reason. Failing a skill check prevents a survivor from interacting with the skill check triggered objective, for example, gen or jigsaw box, for 10, 20, or 30 seconds. Now, I also have a special with this killer. A skin special, let me put it this way. After Cthulhu kills 10 survivors, so final insanity triggers and Cthulhu actually gets the survivor, the killer gets the Priest of Cthulhu skin unlocked. After 25 survivors are killed by the Cthulhu, the Archpriest of Cthulhu skin is unlocked. And after 50 survivors are killed by Cthulhu, the Bishop's skin for Cthulhu, the Bishop of Cthulhu skin is unlocked. There. How did you like my idea? Leave it in the comments below or hop onto my Twitch. I stream every Monday and Tuesday and every other Wednesday and Friday in addition to Monday and Tuesday. Until next time, toodles.